Hello, silver stackers. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver. Well, since yesterday's historic high of near 94 and subsequent body slam, we have been in a consistent up channel. Now we're back at 92.39, forming another bull flag. So let's see what tonight brings. This market has been marked by high volatility and high volume, which is exactly how the market makers and legacy banks, derivatives traders make all their money. Now, a lot of these US banks have switched long, like Citibank and arguably JP Morgan, which holds the most physical silver in the world. Very interesting that they are leaving the European legacy banks like UBS, Deutsche Bank, HSBC to die on the short sword. Now, the CEO of Scottsdale Mint, Josh Fair, came out with a fascinating theory, basically positing that China came in for a monstrous physical silver order last year, to which JP Morgan denied them. JP Morgan then flipped long and bid the silver market up, which sort of prefaced our historic meteoric rise last fall. I think that's one part of it. I think it's also driven by worldwide retail demand, industrial demand, but it was an interesting theory. Try to pay attention to a lot of these signals. You also had Trump with the executive order that he signed last April revolving around critical minerals, critical resources. Since then, the U.S. has basically adopted a policy of onshoring offshore critical resources and making more efficient the mining and basically the mining, the refining, and the gathering of critical minerals and resources domestically. Now, you have the U.S. government partnering with Korea Zinc for the first smelter in 7 years built in America in Clarksville, Tennessee. You have U.S. government, DOD, partnership with Concord Resources, Vulcan, Ucore, Golden Metal, Elk Creek, Lithium American, MP, Trilogy Metals, and you also have talk of Greenland being invaded. You have Venezuela. You have strained relations with other countries like Colombia and Mexico, which are very resource rich. And if someone were to take the, say, Monroe Doctrine from the 1800s to the extreme, hey, we want what we want in the Western Hemisphere, right, wrong, or indifferent. This seems to be the policy. These resources are critical. It's not just the precious metals, it's the base metals, it's the rare earth materials, it's petroleum, etc. So can be driving some of this policy. Also, these markets. You also saw Tesla roll out with the news yesterday that they broke ground or are about to finish their own dedicated lithium refinery. So industry is not asleep at the wheel, it seems, and they are trying to secure the critical resources and minerals that they need for all their build-outs, which of course includes silver in a huge way, but also lithium, rare earth, etc., base metals, copper. And so that's why you're seeing, copper, zinc, nickel, lead, gold, silver, platinum, all the industrial metals, base metals, rare earth, etc., chemicals, gases. You're seeing that, and that's part of our investment thesis. It's basically the periodic table of elements from high school. That is the investment thesis. That's the watch list. So just Google image that, and that is probably what you should be focused on. And speaking of which, I was having a nice conversation with my nephew and talking about investment, and trying to steer him away a bit from the high-flying tech stocks. So think about it. NVIDIA, near 5 trillion market cap, 33 price to sales, not even a PE ratio. And how much more room does NVIDIA have to run? Say you invest a portion of your portfolio, how much more investment is going to flow into NVIDIA now that China has cut off the Blackwell chips, now that we're kind of at a standstill data and AI wise, because there just is not the energy and grid capacity to be able to fuel it? What I would suggest to my nephew is diversifying into more commodity names instead of buying that $10,000 chunk of NVIDIA, split it $1,000 into 10 different companies that are at troughs. Going back to our ratio charts, you take a look at something like copper on a ratio chart, copper to SPX, we're at an all-time low on copper or lithium or rare earth. Get in at the bottoms. That way you can harvest that asymmetrical upside. Why pour money into a Palantir, 414 PE, 64 price to book? Kratos, one of the defense and drone companies, 1014 PE, 10.61 price to book, meaning that if the company were liquidated today, they're worth 10 times more than the assets they have on hand. How about Celsius Energy Drinks? 588 PE, 11.47 price to book. A little health tip, don't drink the Celsius energy drinks if you don't like drinking sewage water. The cyanocobalamin, which they use for B12 in those drinks, that's actually harvested from treated sewer water. Might want to look into that one, but maybe you like drinking toilet water, in which case, guzzle the Celsius. But I'm anti-Celsius. I'm on the all coffee diet. So more allocations to names that are breaking off these historic lows. Low price to book, low flow, low share count. You don't have to hit a home run on every one of those metrics, but that is something you should be screening for an investment at this point, because we are rotating. There is a capital rotation out of the high-flying tech stuff into commodities. We're entering or have entered a commodity bull cycle. Quick example, something like an Equinox Gold. They harvested 1 million ounces of gold last year, okay? Their average cost of production is $1,800 an ounce, and we're near a $5,000 an ounce market. That's pretty good. They're in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, most of their operations. They're not in Democratic or whatever they call it, Democratic Republic of Congo or some war-torn nation. They're in the right space. Gold is going nowhere but north eventually. Another one, SM Energy. So you're talking low share float, low number of shares, not a lot of dilution, low price to book. And also you are taking advantage of getting in on the bottom of this commodity cycle. So yeah, we're going to take a look at where these precious metals markets go. The chart's looking great at the moment, but we'll keep you fully apprised. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Full Bore Silver. Please like, subscribe, and share.